Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Georgia. I hope you're well. Welcome to this week's reading vlog, and this week we have a video that I'm actually so excited about because I want to read some new releases. I have recently received a lot of ARCs and I am so grateful, and I just thought we could sit and read some of them together. All the books I'm going to read in this video are actually all coming out on the 2nd of July. I have got like 5 or 6 ARCs at the moment, but there are 3 in particular that I really want to get to ASAP. And those are One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy. This is book 3 in the Willow Ridge series by this author. I did ARC read book 2 and absolutely loved it, and I'm going to be ARC reading book number 3 as well. I also have The High Life by Anise Starr, but this one just looks like a really fun read that I'm so excited about. I have read another book by this author before and really enjoyed that. It was the Christmassy one, Just a Taste, and I really enjoyed that. I think that one was a lot of fun, so I'm hoping for a similar vibe with this one. And then the final book that we're going to read together in this video is Unexpected Goal. This is the 3rd book in the Breakaway series by Clara St. James. I think there's going to be 4 in this series, but again, I ARC read book 2 in this series as well, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm really hoping again to really love this series going forward. So those are the 3 books that I'm hoping to get to in today's video. So now we just need to choose which one we're going to start with. I think I'm going to go with The High Life, you know. I feel like the other ones are continuing series. I feel like starting with The High Life is a good shout. The synopsis for The High Life then, so it just says, as an airline heiress, Imani Davis has spent 28 years living the life of luxury and glamour, jet-setting across the globe on a whim, dining at the most exclusive restaurants and rubbing shoulders with the world's elite. Armani has it all, and she'll do pretty much anything to keep her tycoon father happy and maintain the status quo. But when her father proposes a marriage between herself and Asher Vuvalis, I think I'm saying that right, Armani learns that she does in fact have a limit. Determined not to spend the rest of her life in a loveless marriage that only serves her father's business, Armani conjures up a desperate lie. Surely her father wouldn't force her to marry her bitter ex, would he? I just think that this one sounds like so much fun. I genuinely cannot wait to get into this one. It sounds like we've got like this sort of marriage of convenience that they're trying to avoid and to break up, and I just think it's going to be so interesting. We've got this sort of like high life experience. We've got this airline heiress who's used to jet setting and getting everything she wants, sort of living this high life. Asher and his family run sort of like these expensive luxury hotel chains, so they're sort of trying to like merge this airline company with this hotel chain, but in doing that they're trying to sort of marry off their kids, and you know, neither of them want that. So we're going to be following Armani and Asher, and I am so excited to get into their story. So do you know what, let's get cozy on the reading chair and let's just jump straight in. Hello, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm just here to give you a little check-in on The High Life by Anise Starr. I'm currently on chapter 20, which is about 71%, so I am nearly at the end of this book now, and I'm having a really fun time with this one. Like, it is so easy reading, it is such an interesting setup and concept, and like it's really interesting seeing this sort of like high society way of living and like the drama and everything that happens in the background that I personally have never really thought about. This one has been so fun to read. So we're following Armani and Asher as they're basically trying to convince their parents that they absolutely despise each other, bearing in mind they are basically strangers. It's really fun seeing them sort of go from strangers to pretending that they absolutely despise each other, and we've had some really fun and cute moments in this. So like they have these high society galas and balls and things like that full of all these other celebrities and socialites and things like that, and it gives me sort of like Bridgerton vibes. I only watched season 1 and I can't remember what the name of it is, but there's basically this like gossip page, and if you can get your story on there, it's all pitch running, everyone will believe it. So they go to this gala and they basically end up sort of having this bit of a face off. She throws a drink in his face and like storms off like, I never want to see you again, and like there's all this drama, and it immediately gets on that gossip page. It's called Trust Fund Tea, so it's TFT, which I thought was quite funny. I really like that. So we're following these 2 strangers basically despising each other and arguing all the time, and then messaging after like, oh my god, are you okay? Like, I didn't mean that. Like, I hope you're okay. Let me know if I've taken it too far. And then they're sort of like meeting up in the background to talk strategy on like next events and what their plans are, and also like just checking in. So they've ended up going on like some little walks and just sort of actually getting to know each other quite well and starting to like fall for each other a little bit, which I just think is so cute and so funny. Like, there's these 2 strangers that are absolutely falling head over heels for each other that are having to pretend they can't stand each other in public, and I just think it's so fun. We're also getting like all the sort of background of their relationships with their dads as well. So like for Armani, her relationship with her dad has always been pretty good, but she equally has never sort of stood up for herself or fought back when it comes to her dad. Basically what he says goes. I am enjoying sort of seeing her try and take a bit of control of her life again. Like this is the one time she's ever sort of stood up to him and been like, look, that's not happening, that's not what I want. I'm not just like a pawn in your business. I have my own life and want my own things, and I won't just conform and fold to everything that you want. And I'm really liking that side of it, sort of seeing her stand up for herself. And similar goes for Asher. Asher was given this opportunity with his dad a while ago and basically decided against it because it just didn't sit right with him morally. And like seeing him again sort of push back and be like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I've never been one of your sons, you've never seen me that way. And seeing him sort of like push back with his relationship with his dad as well has also just been like a nice element to it. So all in all, I am having a really fun time with this one. Like I say, I'm about 71% of the way through, so we don't have much longer to go on this one, but I'm having just a really lovely time. Intrigued to see sort of like where this goes. Obviously they are very much falling for each other. There are some moments of like passion in there. We've had that sort of like first kiss and that first connection, things like that, and I'm really excited to sort of see where this goes. People are starting to sort of question if it's real or not. There's been other little happenings that have just been really exciting and really cute that I've really enjoyed, that have sort of thrown a bit of a spanner in the works for their initial plan. I'm having the most fun. I'm having a really lovely time with this one. I'm very much looking forward to sitting back in my chair and doing a little bit more reading today. So I will be back to you guys probably with my final sort of check-ins for this one. So I will see you guys later. So I'm back with my final thoughts and feelings on The High Life by Anise Starden. So I all in all really enjoyed this one. I think this one was a lot of fun. It also feels really weird not having a book to hold, but it doesn't have a front cover on the art copy that I've got, so I have nothing to show you. Here's a photo. So I really enjoyed this one. I think it was a lot of fun sort of seeing the higher way of living, if that makes sense, dramas of higher society, and like all the sort of like gossip pages, and like Trust Fund Tea I think was such a fun addition to this story, and like seeing how like this one page and this one sort of social media page can create so many ruffles, and like I just think it was so much fun. I really enjoyed that element of this story, but I also just really enjoyed watching Asher and Armani sort of develop these feelings and this friendship to begin with, and then this attraction based off them pretending to hate each other. I just think it was so funny, and I really enjoyed that. I think the ending of this book was so nice. How this book sort of wrapped up was so lovely, and like seeing them sort of stand up to their fathers after everything they've put them through, and to decide to do all of this on their own terms was such a strong like pairing and relationship, and I really liked that. Like their relationship blossomed so nicely, and seeing them support each other while they decide to sort of take their life back was so nice. I really enjoyed this. I think it was a lot of fun, brilliant spice, really lovely message, really fun. Like the trips and the holidays that they take, and like the epilogue and where they are now was all just I really enjoyed it. I have settled on a 4-star rating for this book. I think it was such a lovely book. I don't really have any negative notes to say on it. I liked the pacing, I liked the friendships, I liked the side characters. I am curious to see if we're going to get any more books in this series. As far as I'm aware, it is a standalone, but I feel like there could be some really fun sort of books, maybe surrounding her best friend Sloane, or maybe following Asher's brothers. I think it could be a really fun little interconnected series. I don't know what the plan is for this. I don't know if it's a standalone or not. As far as I'm aware, it is just a standalone, but I just think that this could continue into more stories, which I would definitely be picking up and reading. Our first new release then, The High Life, I'm going to settle on a 4-star rating for this one. So now we need to move on to our next read, and I do want to jump straight into a country romance, I think. So I think I'm going to jump into One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy. So this is book 3 in the series. So for book 1 we have Live Ranch Love, and book 2 we have Riding the Line. So this book, I wanted to say it's the last book in the series, but I feel like there's one more friend that could do with the story, so I'm not entirely sure again. But I really enjoyed both of these. I rated this one 4-star and this one 5-star. Live Ranch Love followed Riot and Aurora, and I really liked this one. And then the second book followed Cherry, which is Wyatt's younger sister and his best friend Duke. So again, really loved this one. And then in the third one, I think we're following Sawyer, which is Wyatt and Duke's friend. There is also Wolfman, so I'm wondering if he will get his own book. I feel like he kind of should, but I don't really know. We'll see what happens at the end of this book. Maybe there's something involving him, who knows. We're following Sawyer, and this is going to be a second chance single mom romance. So I will read you the synopsis first. So again, this book comes out on the 2nd of July. Sawyer Nash was born to fight, first against the demons of his past, then against the bulls that made him a champion. But when an injury rips away the only life he's ever known, he finds himself lost, drowning in a future without purpose. Then Honey Goldman comes back to town. A decade ago, she shattered his heart and left him swearing off love. Now she's returned to Willow Ridge with a son. As Sawyer begrudgingly steps in to help the boy, old wounds reopen and long-buried feelings rise to the surface. As Sawyer and Honey grapple with the past, could love, the very thing Sawyer spent years avoiding, be the thing that saves him after all? I am so excited for this one. We haven't met Honey yet, we've not heard any speakings of Honey yet, but I think it's going to be so nice. And I do think that all the boys were friends in school, so I do think they'll also know Honey. I think it's going to be a really lovely second chance, fun, flirty romance. I love Emma Lucy's writing. She always has such fun banter, and I really like that about her books, and I think it's going to be really nice to sort of see the continuation of this friendship group as well. So I'm also really intrigued to see sort of like how an outsider steps into the friendship group with sort of the girls that we've got already as well. I really like when you see like new people coming into the friendship group and being accepted by this very big friend, like found family type situation. So let's jump into our second book. We're going to jump into One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy. Let's go. Hello everyone, I'm here with a bit of a check-in on One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy. We're going to ignore the current state. I have just had a shower, my hair is air drying. We are currently in 30-degree heat in the UK, which is, you know, a lot for us Brits, especially us ginger Brits that cannot deal with the sun. So it is very hot, it is very humid, I am a mess, but we are rolling with the punches. We're also not complaining, it's not very often we get nice weather in the UK, but this is a bit much. Anyway, I am currently 60% of the way through One Last Rodeo. I'm on chapter 23, and I am absolutely loving this one. It's dual POV, it's spicy, it's fun, it's single mom, it's reformed playboy, it's dual timeline, it's just everything. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving seeing the sort of dual timeline. I really like a dual timeline in like a second chance romance or in a friends to lovers, that sort of vibe. I really like that dual timeline of seeing sort of what went wrong for them the first time round and sort of how that came about and like how they used to be versus how they are now and the sort of progression in both characters in that. I think it's just so much fun. Like seeing Sawyer, our main male character, back when they were in like senior year of high school versus how they are now as like adults is just so lovely and I'm really enjoying it. So we're following Honey, who is a single mom. Honey and Sawyer were sort of like really good friends in college or high school. I'm not entirely sure what it equates to in the UK for the US, but they're in senior year of high school, I think. So Honey is sort of the really quiet, calm, nerdy one, is in the corner, always hiding in the library, doesn't really have many friends, and Sawyer is like the quarterback, upcoming professional bull rider, all the friends, all the girls, that sort of vibe. They're two very different people when they basically end up bonding over something really sort of like serious and sad and sort of like a similar trauma, and they sort of bond because of that, and their friendship sort of stems from there, where they basically strike up a deal where he will help her get something to help her situation and she in return will sort of like help him with his grades because he's basically in a position where he needs to get his grades up or he can't play football. So they strike up this friendship based around that, and seeing them sort of bond as kids or as like young adults alongside seeing them reconnect now as adults and Honey having her own child and things is just so lovely. I'm really liking the sort of tension between them. There's been tension from like the go. In the current timeline they sort of bump into each other at one of Sawyer's sort of like bull riding competitions where he's actually injured, and it starts this sort of forced proximity situation, and I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun. I love a country romance anyway. I love a second chance romance when it's done right, and I also just really love a single parent romance. I really love seeing the sort of loving relationship between the parent and the child, but also in this love interest also taking on this child and loving this child and then forming their own sort of relationship and bond. I think especially when it comes from sort of like a reformed playboy situation where like before they were never interested in kids, never really showed any interest in or any sort of like parental instincts, and seeing them sort of make these bonds with these kids is just, I just really like it. I think it's such a sweet addition to a romance, especially when the romance sort of starts with the kids rather than the parents. So this one is a second chance, so it's a little bit different, but like Sawyer's and Honey's kid Noah's relationship sort of builds up before Honey's and Sawyer's can again, and I really like it when it's that sort of layout. I'm having a really lovely time. I'm enjoying this book a lot. It's sitting very high rated at the moment. It's definitely up there with the second book in the series for me. I think I rated book 1 4 stars and I rated book 2 5 stars and absolutely loved it. This is definitely sitting closer to book 2, so I'm having the best time. I'm just going to keep reading, and I'll probably, hopefully, be back to you tomorrow with my final thoughts and feelings on this one, because I just want to sit and read it. I'm really enjoying it, and I really want to sort of continue to see where this story goes and ends, but I'm loving it. So I'm loving the main tropes, I'm loving the micro tropes, I'm having the most fun. Let's go and continue reading. So I am back with my final thoughts and feelings on One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy. And do you know what? I had the best time. I really enjoyed this book. I think it was so much fun and so lovely to read. I really enjoyed the development of the characters. I really enjoyed the development of our main male character with the little boy in this book, Noah. Noah is so much fun and so sweet. He's so shy and has like a bit of an obsession with cowboys, and like he really likes them. It's kind of his thing at the moment. He loves drawing them. He loves like learning about them. He's really enjoying sort of being around the ranch and getting to know this sort of like ranch lifestyle. He's absolutely loving being involved, and seeing Sawyer sort of treats him and goes from being this sort of playboy character to being this really loving, caring guy who never really saw himself with kids but now has this 6-year-old boy who's like idolising him, was just so sweet to watch. I really enjoyed that side of it, and I just think that the romance alongside that was so much fun. I think watching Sawyer and Honey sort of navigate their rekindled relationship was so lovely, and seeing sort of the parallels between their relationship 9-10 years ago and their relationship now was so sweet. Like the things that happened back then and the things they recreated in terms of like sort of figuring out their current feelings was just amazing, and I really enjoyed that element of it as well. The third act conflict in this book was completely understandable. Like I do see where all parties were coming from. There are some bits regarding sort of like Noah's dad and him being around for Christmas and things like that, so it was sort of understandable, and watching them sort of navigating how to deal with that when they're not 100% sure where they stand in their relationship, so don't really want to be posting that everywhere and like letting everyone in on it when they're still trying to figure out what it is for them. The third act conflict was completely understandable, and I did actually quite like it. I feel like it made a lot of sense for their story and their past, so I liked how that sort of unfolded, and I liked how it was resolved as well. The ending was also super sweet. I think I was sort of hoping for a bit more of like a everyone back together sort of ending. I do feel like if this is the last book in the series that we've not really seen everyone back together again, which would have been nice. I'm hoping Wolfman's going to get his book. I don't feel like it's particularly set up for it though. I don't feel like there's been much in terms of figuring it out. I think there was a really lovely moment towards the end of the book about the lads and sort of reaching out and getting support, and how the lads feel that like that's the one thing missing from their friendship is they don't sort of reach out and support each other when they're in need, and the things like all the things they overlooked from back at school and things like that. I just think that that moment with all the lads was so special and so nice to read. The epilogue was actually really sweet. So they were attending the wedding of the couple from book 1 when they find out some really amazing news before they go, and that was a really sweet moment. I kind of wish we'd have seen a bit more after that again, but not a bad point. I just really like these characters, and I'm actually quite attached to these characters, so I just think I was hoping to extend the book a little bit more and just see a bit more of everybody together and a bit more of the epilogue. So I absolutely devoured this book. I think it was so much fun. I have settled on a 5-star rating. I feel so emotionally connected to these characters from the entire series as well, not just from Honey and Sawyer, like also Rory and Wyatt and also Duke and Cherry. Like I'm so obsessed with this world and these characters that I just wish it wasn't over yet. But we will see what else Emma Lucy has to offer. This is obviously her first series, so I also feel like they're only going to get better from here, and I cannot wait to read more by this author and see what else she has to offer later down the line. A 5-star book. I absolutely loved it. If you've not got your hands on the Willow Ridge series, I highly recommend that you do. It's been so lovely. I've read all 3 books now and read all 3 books quite highly, so I definitely recommend checking them out if you haven't already. So we're now going to jump into the next book for this video, and that is Unexpected Goal by Clara St. James. I have actually got books 1 and 2 here, but I do have the old covers. They have now been recovered, and this book has actually been not rewritten but like edited and republished. So this is an ice hockey romance. So book 1 is following Emma and Chase, and then book 2 is following Jackson, which is Emma's brother and Chase's best friend, and then Maya, which is Emma's best friend. I really enjoyed both of these books. Like I said, there has been some edits made to this one, so the copy that I've read, so the version of events might be slightly different. I also really like this one. I think this one is probably sitting a little bit higher than this one for me. I can't remember exactly what I rated them, but I do have high hopes going into book 3. And this one is following Tyler, who we have met previously and is like plays for the same team as the lads in one of these books. But we see quite a bit of Tyler in both of these. I'm really praying for a good character arc for Tyler, because in these books he's a bit of a twat. Like, he's kind of the arsehole and he's always causing problems, and he has like a bit of a highlight moment towards the end of these books, but like for the most part he's just a bit of a dick. So I'm really hoping that we see some good progression for Tyler in this one here. So I'll just quickly read you the synopsis for this one then. So Tyler, he screwed up one night, one mistake, and now there's a baby on his doorstep. He's 8 hours away from anyone he trusts, getting torn apart by his new team, and has no idea how to keep a kid alive. When he calls somebody from his past in a panic, she brings reinforcements, including a nanny who's way too pretty for his peace of mind, Nora Collins. She needed this job badly. Moving to Ridgeport for a fresh start seemed like the right call, until she showed up for an interview and found a professional hockey player who looked 2 seconds away from a breakdown, holding a screaming baby like it might explode. But the pay is good, the baby is sweet, and Tyler West, despite being a mess, might be the best thing that happened to her in a very long time. Their boundaries were crystal clear, professional only, no feelings, no complications, except late night feeds don't feel professional. Stolen glances aren't just friendly, and when Tyler falls first, keeping their distance becomes impossible. But falling for each other is the easy part. Staying together when the world tries to tear them apart, that's where the real fight begins, because family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's who shows up at 3 a.m, who stays when things get hard. Sometimes the best goals are the most unexpected. So I'm really, really excited for this one. It is like a surprise, you're a single dad. It's a single dad nanny situation, which I always love, and obviously it's sport romance. So 3 of some of my favourite tropes, and I am so excited to read this one. Like I say, Tyler, I am hoping for a very good character arc for him. Like, his character is in need of some dire development. Like, he is a bit of a twat. So I'm really hoping to see him sort of change and develop and grow in this book. So let's just jump straight in. Unexpected Goal by Clara St. James. Let's go. Hello, we are going to ignore the state. I'm actually in the middle of packing as I'm going away this weekend. I'm going to Cardiff to go and see Metallica, which is so exciting. And it is currently still 30 degrees in the UK, so I am overheating, I am stress packing, and I still want to film a check-in for Unexpected Goal before I leave. So we're going to do this now before I go, and then hopefully by the time we get back this weekend we'll have finished this one. So Unexpected Goal then. I'm currently on 57%, which is chapter 28. I'm really enjoying this one so far. So in this one we're following Nora and Tyler. Now this book literally starts with Tyler at a hockey game in this new team that he's really not sort of clicking with. Comes home and there's this knock at the door and there's this newborn baby. She's 8 weeks old, and strapped to the side is her birth certificate and a letter from the mum. Now the mum of this baby, it was from a one night stand in this dingy bar after a really shit session at work. Has this one night stand, they never speak to each other again until this baby appears on his doorstep. So he is literally thrust into this world of becoming a first time dad. He's had no prep, no time. There's literally just this baby, a diaper bag, and that is it. He takes to it immediately. He rings some of the past characters we've met in this series already, and they sort of step in to sort of help him find his feet, get everything ready. Obviously he's got no cot, no way of cleaning all the bottles, no sterilizer, no nothing like that. He literally has nothing. He's not really had a lot of like practice with children, and like his friends have kids but he's not really very involved, so like he is in the deep end, good and proper, and we're following him sort of try and find his feet. Now Emma, which is the girl from book 1 and 2, she rings the service for an immediate nanny. Nora has recently stopped working for another family with twin little girls. She had them from 0 to 18 months. She knows what she's doing, and they basically hire her to be the nanny for this little girl. Now Harper is the cutest little baby, and we're following Tyler and Nora as they basically try and find this professional living in life sort of situation. So she is a living nanny, she is there 24/7, and then Tyler's there when he can be around sort of work and things. So I really like this one. I really like how Tyler's sort of stepped up. We've seen Tyler in book 1 and 2, and to put it nicely, he is a bit of a dick. Like, his character arc is so lovely. Like, at the end of book 2 we sort of see him come around and try and make better choices, and he's sort of stepping in with this group and part of the found family that we have in this series, but he still holds a lot of grief around all the happenings of book 1 and 2 and really beats himself up about all of that. He's scared to get close to people, he thinks he always hurts them. And our main female character Nora has a similar thing. Like, everyone she loves has left and passed away, there's been accidents, things like that, so she's really scared to let people close. So we've got these two main characters that are clearly developing these feelings over the course of the like 3 or 4 months that we've covered so far in this book. We're following them as they sort of try and navigate these feelings that they're developing when they're both really scared to let people close. So I'm loving it so far. I think it's a lot of fun. I've loved this series so far anyway. So if you're looking for a fun sort of like professional hockey player series, I definitely recommend giving this one a go. So we're nearly 60% through. I'm really loving this one so far. I'm loving the progression of their relationship and watching them fall for each other. They are falling pretty thick and fast. It's definitely a he falls first situation. And I'll probably check in with you guys when I get to the end of this one. So all in all, really enjoying it. I'm just going to continue reading and I'll see you guys later. Here are my final thoughts and feelings on Unexpected Goal. I loved this. I think Tyler's character development has honestly been insane, and I've loved seeing his character arc. I feel like I genuinely really didn't like him in book 1 and 2, and I just couldn't see a way for that to be redeemed. And do you know what Clara delivered? His development in this book was just insane. As awful as it sounds, I enjoyed sort of seeing him at his worst and sort of realising where he went wrong and like how his actions in book 1 and 2 have got him where he is, and like seeing him sort of come to terms with the fact that he's done those things and he can't take them back and he has to find a way to move forward with that was actually a really interesting element of this book that I did enjoy. Watching him become a dad was honestly so fun and so lovely, and I really enjoyed watching their relationship develop. Nora is such a sweet character, Tyler is such a sweet character, and like together they just work so well. I think the little one in this book is just the cutest. I really enjoyed sort of seeing her grow, I guess, and seeing all of her first, and seeing Tyler watch and experience all of her first as well. The third act conflict in this book I really enjoyed. I enjoyed that it wasn't about the couple and about their issues, it was more to do with like the child, and seeing sort of like the custody battle side of things was something I've never really read about, and I actually thought that was so upsetting, and like I was so hooked into this, honestly. There was nowhere near as much spice in this book as I would say there is in book 1 and book 2, but the spice that was in here was really fun. Like we had probably only 2 or 3 like really spicy scenes, and I think that was a lot more balanced than maybe book 1 and 2 were. I like a spicy book anyway, so I don't mind it in book 1 and 2, but this definitely has a lot less, but it fits well for the story. I also enjoyed their reasoning behind that. Like there was a lot of lust and a lot of yearning, but they decide not to, and I really like that. But yeah, all in all, I really love this one. I like this series so much. I think we're gonna get a 4th book in this series, but I'm not sure sort of like when we're getting that, and I'm also not entirely sure who it's going to be about. I loved this one. I think it was a lot of fun. The surprise single dad element was something I really enjoyed. I think it was a really nice spin on the single parent dynamic in a book, and I always just love a single dad nanny trip anyway, so I had high hopes for this book and it definitely didn't disappoint. I think my final rating, I'm going to settle on a 4 for this one. Again, it was a lot of fun. The spice was good, and the sort of like the actual storyline and the plot points in this were a lot of fun and a little bit different. I think Clara's books always have like quite a difficult point or focus in them. Like a lot of her books do hit hard, but also have this really lovely found family and really positive element and ending to them. So I really like Clara's writing, and I can't wait to see sort of like what else she comes out with. Like I said, there's going to be 4 in this series, but she has also made some hints at some like the next sort of series that she's going to be working on, and I think we're going sort of in like the country direction, which brings me so much joy. I love a good country romance, so I'm so excited to see where she goes in that direction. So there we have it. This is our 3rd and final book for this video. I really enjoyed this one. I love reading new releases. I love reading arcs, and I feel so lucky and so grateful to the authors for trusting me with their work. By the time you're seeing this, the books all will be out. Like I said, they all came out on the 2nd of July, so you can now get your hands on all 3 of these. With the 2 books that are in the series, I do definitely recommend reading those books in the right order, so don't jump in at book 3. Go back and read books 1 and book 2, but definitely go back and read them because they are amazing. And the Annie Star book as well, I really enjoyed that one. I think that one was so fun and so different to sort of like anything I've read recently. Yeah, a very successful read, a couple of 4s and a 5. We are definitely doing well with these reads and these new releases. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my social media, my Amazon, my Goodreads and my business email are all in the description bar below, as well as my Fable. I've recently set up a Fable account. I'm still very new at it. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out as I go along, but that will be in the description bar for you guys as well. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.